nonstop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
I think he stays, even keel and just keeps going back to work. And I think he knows that there are, where the plays were that, we could have connected. I think there were, the sideline throw. There was one over the middle. There's moments where they're there. We're targeting him, but the throw's a little off. We're just not making the completion, making the play. So, we just have to find ways to get those inches and make those plays.
He just looks and sounds so down and sad. Is this like the saddest you've seen Kirk Cousins? He should be, by the way.
No.
Disappointing start to 3-4 start, losing to Cooper Rush.
I feel like he was more depressed when he got off to the back-to-back bad September starts the past 2 years. I think he's fine. I think his stats are fine. I think he's fine. I just don't know. Zim is down. Like, I don't like this Zim. I want Zim just for his own health to blow up. Like, get mad at somebody.
He's like past the point of being mad now.
Yeah,
He's
but
just
I don't
like
like that from
dejected.
Mike. Yeah, but I mean, dejected Mike is no fun.
And Danielle Hunter going out too is just such a it's like, what do you do? He saw what that looked like without Danielle Hunter last year and a bunch of other injuries. You can't protect against it.
No, but Fiery Mike does not read stats. Fiery Mike just brings the heat to somebody.
Yeah, it's kind of a desperate move, like Fiery Mike. I don't know.
It's like we are fourth in yards per play on second down on Monday nights, but Jim Flynn on a Monday night. I don't know.
Let's move on to the next one. This is we are number one. I don't know in what stat, but I don't know, number one in being hilarious here on Purple Daily Vikings Entertainment, presented by Surly Brewing Company. And we just want one thing. We want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die, and losing to Cooper Rush and the Cowboys didn't help that cause. But they have a chance against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens this weekend, and this is the Purple Props edition of Purple Daily, where we go into the betting lines and we make our game predictions. Do not ever take gambling advice from us. You'll probably lose your house. So just be careful there. If you're watching us on a TCL TV, thank you guys. TCL is a major partner of ours, and they also offer a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. Boys, let's start here on Purple Props with playoff odds. Before last weekend, they had, I think it was a 49% chance to make the playoffs, according to FootballOutsiders.com. It's now down to 34%, 10% chance to win the division, and a 0.6% chance to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, this is the first time that you've done this that I'm going to disagree with one of those. Their chance to win this division is less than 10% right now.
Yeah.
Well, Rodgers is out.
I don't care. Their chance to win this division is less than 10% right now. I don't care that he's out. I guess they're trying to factor in that the Vikings still have a bunch of games in the division, including 2 against Green Bay left.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's about
Packers
right
probably lose to Kansas City this weekend with Jordan.
The Packers probably should have lost to the Cardinals. Now, I know that Rodgers played in that game, but that still looked like... I'm just saying, before today, I have always agreed with every one of those permeations that you've read. Today, I'm bickering a little bit.
I'm siding with Judd, too. I just... The fact they lost to the Cowboys, that just puts it way too far behind the 8 ball. I know Jordan Love potentially could start back-to-back games because Rodgers might be out even for the Seattle game because he has to have, I believe, back-to-back negative tests within a 10-day period. So he could very well be in question of missing next week's game as well. But I think it's under 10%. I agree with Judd.
Yeah, I don't know. I think 10%'s about. I'm not going to split hairs too much here. I don't think there's a very good chance they win the division. So whether it's 8% or 10%, the playoff odds thing is interesting. So 34% is really low, right? Considering they're 2 games back of the 6th seed, which is kind of a lot. The Saints are the 6th seed right now. The 5th seed, the 3rd wild card team right now is the Rams. They have 1 loss because the Cardinals have 1 loss. And they're number 1 in the AFC West right now. So, yeah, if you're not going to win the division, you're basically fighting for one of those 2 bottom wild card spots, and you're 2 games back of the Saints. Although the Saints are starting Taylor Heineke, or I'm sorry, I'm getting my former Vikings backup quarterbacks mixed up. Trevor Siemian is starting this weekend. So the Vikings are a half game back of the 7 seed Carolina, who they do own a tiebreaker over. They're tied at 3-4 with San Francisco and Atlanta, and they're just ahead of 3-5 Seattle, which gets Russell Wilson back after a bye, most likely. He's been throwing the football on his Instagram account. Philadelphia and Chicago are also 3-5. So, I think the best team of that bunch is probably just whoever Russell Wilson quarterbacks, and that would be the Seahawks. And they're only a half game back of the Vikings. So they're just muddled up here in this battle for the 7 seeds. I don't know. I guess maybe 34% is correct, and now the Vikings are likely to lose against the Ravens, and we'll get to that game. But, is 34% low, high? What do you guys think?
I think it's fair. Because
they've dug their grave here.
And if they upset Baltimore, they're going to not skyrocket up, but they're going to go up substantially, probably back up to high 40s or something like that. No, I think the rest of those are fair. And the reality is this: that 7 seed's likely not going to be a good team. Like there's enough playoff teams now. When you expanded from 6 to 7, yes, it's just one team, but it firmly opened the door for a consistently underachieving team to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And so, like, if it's the Vikings or I don't care whom, the 7 seed is traditionally probably going to be not a good team. And so I think that the current 34% is fair.
Yeah. I think going in to the Cowboys game, they were like 48, 49% before the game against the Cowboys. So they were basically a coin flip team going into that game. And if you win, you're probably flirting with like 55, 60%. You're probably above the 50% coin flip threshold, but still not necessarily a guarantee. Now it's basically you're gonna have to run a table or go get really, really hot for them to be back above 50% to make the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the actual game here, the spread, and then the actual just straight up pick itself after we talk about Skinny Judd Zulgad. Dude is just rocking it the last 5 weeks here. Inspirational.
Judd. Skinny Judd. So 5 weeks back, I joined Livia Weight Control Centers, and I was 240 pounds. And they said, we will help you lose the weight, Judd, but most importantly, once it's gone, we will help you. And this is the key, especially for a guy my age who his entire life has been up and down. We will help you keep that weight off. Well, so far, it's going perfectly. In fact, I'm down from 240 5 weeks ago to I went to the Tonka location yesterday. I weighed in down 21 pounds to 218 pounds. So I've gone from 240 to 218. I've got 18 more to go, and then the maintenance starts, and I know it's going to work. Best part, join me now. First 10 weeks are free. So I'm 5 weeks in, 21 pounds down. Get your first 10 weeks for free, livia.com or 855-GO LIVEA, livia.com. They will help you take the weight off just like they're helping me. And then most importantly, again, because this is the key, they will help you keep the weight off for a lifetime, and healthy habits and changing things for the positive. I feel great.
It's awesome, man. 20 plus pounds in 5 weeks, man. That's it's pretty amazing. So Ravens are favored in this game, according to most sports books, by 6 points right now. 72% of the bets are coming in on the Ravens. 76% of the money is coming in on the Ravens. Before we get to actually picking here, I'm going to give you a couple nuggets from Action Network. They write, this is 2 straight opponents coming off the bye for Minnesota, which is terrible news since Kirk Cousins is now 1-10 against the spread lifetime against teams coming off a bye, especially since John Harbaugh is 9-4 against the spread coming off the bye in his coaching career, one of the better coaches in our Action Network system. Baltimore's last road game was over a month ago on October 3rd. This is the 4th straight home game for the Ravens, plus a restful bye week in between. And with all the early season injuries for Baltimore, this team is finally starting to get healthy. So that's sort of the landscape. Baltimore comfortably sitting at home. They've rested up for a couple weeks. Let's start with Judd here. Ravens by 6 is the spread. Who covers the spread? And then, if there's a different answer, who wins outright?
Okay, first part is I feel like for Baltimore, it's a trap game. And I feel like for the Vikings, if you're ever going to show some life, right? Like if you're ever going to come back and win a game, this is the game. And I think that we have enough of a past history on Mike's teams and the Vikings that the Vikings have won this game before. So I know that a lot of people think that they're, going to get smoked, that they're dead, that it's done. I think the Vikings not only cover the spread, I think they win. I think that, and this is not guaranteeing that they come back now and run the table. I think this strikes me as a classic because they aren't a bad team. And if they aren't pushed to embrace their offense on Sunday, they never will be. They never will be. And they're going up against a defense that is last, 32nd in the National Football League against the pass, giving up almost 300 yards passing per game. Justin Jefferson caught 2 balls and was targeted 4 times in a nationally televised game against the Cowboys. It made no sense. I think that this is a game where the offense takes the gloves off and is allowed to punch, which is positive. And I believe it's a game where Mike is going to try and impose his will, as I am still a great defensive tactician, and hopefully comes up with something that at least can contain Lamar Jackson to a certain point. I think the Vikings pull the upset in this game and surprise everybody, because when the Vikings aren't expected to do a damn thing, that's when they ordinarily surprise.
Whoo, Declan.
Well, I hate to pour cold water off that great hot take, but I think the Ravens cover the spread easily against this game and kick the Vikings' butt. I think Lamar Jackson, who's a dual threat guy, is going to carve up this defense. Judd's logic that it being a trap game, and I can be talked into it obviously being a trap game as well, and the Vikings then come out and get the big upset win over Baltimore and build up that little bit of hashtag faith, and now all of a sudden things are going to be all right again. But I think Baltimore's just too good of a team. They're coming off a bye week. I think Lamar Jackson runs all over you. Ravens covered this spread easily.
Oh man, this is so hard because I could see you guys. You guys are polar opposites right now. Like Judd is saying, no, this is the Undertaker sitting up game, and Declan's saying, no, this is the get Mike Zimmer fired game. And I could see either one of those scenarios playing out for this team. Nothing would surprise me in this game. The things I worry about here. The Ravens last time they played, and they have a great coach, a great quarterback, a bunch of great veteran players. They got smoked by Cincinnati. They got embarrassed by the Bengals by 24 points, and they've had to sit on that for 2 weeks. Yeah. And they've just been resting up and prepping and sitting on that feeling for 2 weeks. The Vikings' run defense is 28th in the NFL in yards per rush attempt, and they're going up against one of the great running attacks in the NFL. Danielle Hunter is out. Michael Pierce might be out. And there's a lot of tension between Vikings players and Mike Zimmer and coaches right now. So I think the only way the Vikings win this game is in a shootout. I don't see any scenario in which a defense without Michael Pierce and Danielle Hunter is going to stifle the Ravens offense. I mean, I think it literally has to be like a 38-31 kind of a situation that the Vikings are going to win this game. And I could see that. I could see this offense finally, all right, guys, chuck the ball deep like you did against Carolina and hang 30-plus points on the road. So I think this game goes back and forth. I think the Vikings put up a fight. I do not think they get blown out. But in the end, I think it's going to be too tough to stop a 2 week. Sorry, I got a gnat flying around in my face here. I think it's going to be too tough to stop a Ravens offense prepping for 2 weeks and Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go kind of in between you guys. I think they lose. I will take the Ravens to cover the 6. But I think it's going to be kind of back. I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings jump out to an early lead in this game. The scripted plays go well, and then they're kind of in hang on for dear life mode, and then the Ravens go up by 10 points late or something. That's kind of how I see this game playing out. I do not think the Vikings lay down flat, but it would have really been nice to have that game in hand against Dallas. Give yourself some cushion to drop back to 500 in this one, and then go get the Chargers game and the Packers game. This was always going to be the toughest game of these 4, the 4 that we've talked about, right? The road game at Baltimore. And now it's almost a must-win. You almost have to win this game if you want to keep your season alive. And I think they'll play like it.
But I think that the expectations now are that they're going to get drilled is a classic Cousins game then. Going back east, near Washington, I'm going to prove it to you. And the thing about it is, if they embrace this opportunity, he's got the personnel. You know, he's got Thielen, Jefferson, who, by the way, definitely stopped in Zim's office at some point. At least Thielen did, and said, "Hey, do we think we should still throw the football, Mike? This is just a classic. This is, to me, it's the feeling to this. Despite the fact that the record's not as bad, very close to what the Vikings had going into Green Bay coming out of the bye last year, which was, oh my God, they're dead. At that point, I think they had won one of their first 6 games. So it's not as bad. But I have that same feeling about this game. And it also, and I keep making this comparison, it also feels like the circa 2016 Wild, which we always thought, okay, now they're dead. No, we're not dead yet. You don't understand.
Yeah.
We're going to pop back up. The interesting thing is, if they win this game, they're still unlikable. Like, that's what I don't like. Because they basically have to screw up to come back. But I think that there's a lot of things to this game in particular, unless they've quit on Mike, and that's a possibility. If they've quit on Mike, then they'll probably get, as Declan said, absolutely pummeled. But if they haven't quit on Mike and we get the 1 week resurgent, us against them, let's show the world, that's this team.
Yeah. Yeah, they also, like, the other thing about this team is they don't go on like month and a half runs.
No.
You know, they don't
No.
like they don't have any 3-game win streaks this year. They had one 3-game win streak last year, but it was after a bunch of losses. I'm just pulling this up here. 2019, they did in 2019 after the horrible September, the at Lambeau and the at Chicago losses, just ugly losses. They did rattle off 4 straight wins at the Giants, home against the Eagles, at Detroit, and then home against Washington, all very mediocre teams. But it's like this team has the talent. It's not perfect, but this team has the talent to just go out and like win 6 straight games. But that's so far-fetched right now based on the way that they hold the reins back and want to play close games, and now Daniel Hunter's out. So,
exactly.
You know, so yeah, they did have a 3-game win streak in Cousins' first year here after they fell to 1-2-1. So they are like they do tend to bounce back. All right, our backs are against the wall. Let's go win 3 games in a row. Right?
Now we'll show you. You guys don't understand what we're all about. No, actually, we do.
So Judd's got them winning.
Yep,
Declan has them pretty much getting smoked, and I've got them playing a hard-fought game, probably getting out to a lead at some point in the first half, and then just being unable to keep up in the second half. So let's get to the total here real quick. So 49.5 is the most common over-under number. So do you guys think it's going to be over or under 49.5 combined points between these teams?
What's the weather supposed to be?
It's mid-50s, no rain, 10 miles an hour wind, somewhere there. So like really good nice fall
If I'm
weather.
to be proven correct, over. It needs to go high. The Vikings need to score points because they're going to give up points. Mm-hmm. So if my prognostication, which could be entirely screwed up and wrong, but if it's correct, over.
I say under, but because I don't think the Vikings are going to be able to put up a ton of points. I just think they roll over. And the Ravens don't have a good defense by any means. Their pass defense has been a sieve this year, but I think Baltimore wins this game handedly, but I don't think they go over the 49.5. I think it's a one-sided affair, but it's under the 49.5.
Yeah, like so there's a bunch of scenarios for that score-wise, right? Like Baltimore wins 28-14 or Baltimore wins 31-13, 10, something like that. Yeah, there's a lot of...
Right, Declan?
Yeah, 31.
31-3. Greg Joseph, thanks a lot for kicking that field goal, buddy.
I honestly, Vegas is usually pretty close on these numbers, and so I'm probably wrong here, but I really think it's like a 31-24, like Vikings jump out to a lead, and then the Ravens, make it a fourth quarter show or something. So I'm going to say it's over. I'm going to go over the 49.5. Before we get to some of these props here, Federated Mutual Insurance Company is they're helping teams that need to rein it in a little. Maybe you're looking for a little risk management. All right, a little peace of mind as a business owner out there, and they've been around since the early 1900s, helping Minnesota business owners and beyond with risk management tools, resources, protecting employees, protecting your bottom line. Find out more about the great people at Federated Insurance by going to federatedinsurance.com. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. And also, Vikings Vent Line this Sunday, we're going to be cheersing some Surly Furiouses, I'm guessing, Judd? Win or lose?
Oh, yeah. And that's the great thing. Surly, win or lose, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel better about life. And in particular, my favorite, the Surly Furious IPA. If you have not done it, we got a lot of college football on Saturday. And, of course, the Vikings on Sunday. Head to your local liquor store today. Pick up your case, possibly your 4-pack, your 6-pack. Surly Furious IPA is the way to go. It's the official beer, of course, of not just the Mackey and Judd show, but more importantly, Purple Daily, because it soothes whatever is going on with the Vikings.
So let's get to some props here on Purple Props. Lamar Jackson rush yards, over or under 62.5.
Yep, Declan is indicating over, and I am going to agree with Declan. That's not that much for him,
low.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to go.
Phil.
So he is
You have that in front of
averaging.
you?
Yes, I'm going to find this here. Yards per game.
The last 4 games, he's had 88, 51, 62, 28.
Yeah,
He's averaging 68 rush yards per game.
over for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, gosh, I actually think I think the aerial attack is going to be the thing in this game here. By the way, Rashad Bateman's back. He had 80 yards in his last game.
Yeah, he's good. Love him.
So I'm going to say under. I think they're going to be a little more pass heavy in this one. And I actually think the Vikings might jump out to a lead, and maybe the Ravens throw a little bit more. We'll see. I might just be making that scenario up in my head as well. How about Kirk Cousins, over or under 275.5 pass yards?
I'm going. Oh, that's about right. Under, but not by much. I think that's about right.
Lockstep with Judd there. I think it's under.
So he's averaging 279 yards per game so far this year.
Under, but not by much.
He's gone over 275.
That's a good number.
3 times this season. He's gone exactly 275 once.
Yeah.
I'm going to say God dang it. This is tough. I'm going to say it's under slightly, but
right. But not by much.
But good numbers, yeah.
Like right around there.
Dalvin Cook, over or under 75.5 rushing yards.
Jeez. Since he had the big game when he came back against Carolina, but then he didn't do a lot against Dallas, which did a good job. I am going to say under, because Baltimore's pass defense is so bad that I think the Vikings are going to take advantage of that. And so I will say, again, I think they're just about right, but I'll go slightly under that. Declan?
I'll go over. I think Dalvin goes over. I think he'll have a decent day. I don't know if he'll rush for like 150, but I think he does get close to 100, if not a little over. So I'll say over his set there.
Yeah, I think the Vikings move the ball, so I'm going to say over for Dalvin here. And I don't know, he's averaging almost 90 yards per game, which I think is down from previous years, but he's been banged up too. And then one more here, Justin Jefferson, over or under 73.5. He is averaging 80.
Over. It better be.
Yeah.
It better. Damn it. It better be over. More than 4 targets too, please. Thank you.
This is more speaking this into existence. I'm with Judd here. Please let it be over. Let it be over.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's all three speak this one into existence. Even if they get beat 43-0, as long as Jefferson gets over 75 or 73.5, then it's a win, right? That's all that matters.
I am installing a new play caller starting with the Chargers game if that is under that figure.
Well, if they lose the game, then you might just be installing a lot of things going into the Chargers game.
Yeah, that better be. Seriously. It's driving me crazy.
Play calling might be the least of your worries.
That's true.
So, well, no, we thanked Federated already, so we're good. We're
Shirley,
housekeeping. Yep, we're good.
Livia.
Yeah.
Thanked them all.
Even we sometimes have to collect ourselves go back to the drawing board here on this show. We'll see what happens on Sunday against the Ravens. Vikings Vent Line right after the game is over. Win or lose, we are here for you guys, Vikings fans. Thank you for making Vikings Vent Line the most fan-friendly and interactive show in Minnesota sports. That's a wrap on Purple Daily. Purple Props presented by Surly Brewing Company.